Yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks, Governor.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you for coming out today. I want to thank Andy from the City Commission, Brad Langsather for the Helena Open Lands Manager.
Right here.
Yeah, perfect. And Amanda Castor, Director of DNRC, and Matt Hall, DNRC Fire Protection Bureau Chief. Matt, say hello. Yeah, good. We're here for an important purpose. We saw remarkable results here. We are coming out of our fire season. I wanted to start by saying thank you to the City of Helena. They've been a great partner, and their initiative in proactive forest management allowed us to fight this fire behind us on the hill here and prevented property damage that could have been devastating here in the community. Also, I want to thank DNRC leadership really for two things. One is to become much more aggressive in active forest management. We set an aggressive goal in our first year of this administration to double the number of acres under active forest management in Montana. We achieved that goal. We're going to see even more acres come under active forest management this year. But just as important, we adopted an aggressive attack posture on all fires in Montana, and we saw remarkable results. And Matt Hall and his team this year, we had almost 270 fires this fire season under state DNRC control. And I'm proud to report, because of the hard work of our firefighters, the average fire under DNRC control was contained to under 2 acres. This is remarkable. Fires are a lot easier to put out when they're small. Matt, you and your team did a phenomenal job. We have some of our firefighters here. Thank you for your work. The forest management was done here on this hillside, prevented this fire from extending down into the community and being more devastating. The benefits of active forest management are very, very clear. First, we get increased fire resiliency. That's what we saw here on this hillside. So it's easy to manage them. It improves habitat, so we get more wildlife. It expands recreational opportunities. And finally, it creates jobs. So everyone benefits when we have healthier forests, and active forest management delivers that. We were reminded this summer, both in this Mount Helena fire and the Grizzly Gulch fire, both in the neighborhood. When we manage our forests, our communities are safer. We have more recreation. We have increased fire resiliency, and we have jobs in our communities. And I don't need to tell you, but Montana faces a forest health crisis. We don't have to drive very far from here, and I can show you 90% standing dead trees. These are forests that are just tinder boxes waiting to light up, and ultimately putting our firefighters at risk. We need to get into the woods and managing these. And this is why back in May, I brought our partners together, the Forest Service, BLM, U.S. Wildlife Service, state agencies, local firefighters, and really urged that we be more aggressive in the way we manage our forests. We need to bring more state and private and federal acres under active forest management. I'm thankful we have strong partnerships like the ones on display here today. And I'd also say we have made funds available for active forest management. In fact, there's a $500,000 grant program that's open until November 9th. So this can be applied to tribal lands, private lands, other lands where fuels reduction projects will increase the health of the forest and expand it. So as governor, I'll continue to prioritize aggressive attack on fires and active forest management, just like we saw here on Mount Helena. Proactive management protects Montana, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So with that, I'd like to turn the podium over if you'd like to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Governor.
Yep.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you very much, Governor Gianforte. Thank you all for being here today. I can't stress this enough. Those partnerships from the state, the municipal, the county, and so on are vital to protecting our forests and protecting our public and private property. I want to thank the Department of Natural Resources. I want to also thank the Helena Fire Department for acting so quickly. They were on the scene within 4 minutes of the fire being reported. Our partnerships with the Department of Natural Resources, the Department of DNRC, they've been great partners in this. And these partnerships didn't just happen overnight. These partnerships take years to develop. These relationships take years to develop. That trust takes years as well. So I'm proud to say that our fire department worked hand in hand with our police department. I can't thank Chief Campbell, Chief Chambers, his department, along with Department of Natural Resources, along with the Helena Fire Department, along with our friends from Wolf Creek Fire, from Baxendale Fire, from the Tri Lake area, their fire departments as well. Our volunteer fire departments were some of the unsung heroes. The partnerships that the governor mentioned about public-private partnerships. We worked with 3 different helicopters that day. I was on the scene with the Red Cross. I'm a Red Cross volunteer. I was on the scene and I got to see that partnership firsthand. I got to see those tankers that came over from Missoula. Can't thank them enough. And I think that's where it's going to be, is that we have to have those partnerships to help protect our public lands as well as our private property. That fire mitigation, cleaning up our forests, I think that's vitally important. With that, I'll turn it over to whoever's next. Cool. Okay. Thank you, Governor.
Yeah, thank you. And next, I'd like to have Brad Langsather come up and share a little bit about the work you're doing as Helena Open Lands Manager.
Thank you, Governor.
Yep.
So we're standing here today on Mount Helena City Park, and for the past 15 years, we've worked to intensively manage the forest in this area. Helena's forests are positioned on the southern flank of the city, and this is a critical area when you look at fires that occur in the park itself or fires approaching the city. It's our work with our partners, the U.S. Forest Service and the Montana DNRC, that's allowed us to increase the intensity of management within the park and accelerate our pace. And when I've worked side by side for a number of years with different individuals working out in the forest, and I can't thank them enough. And I think the positive outcome that we saw a few weeks ago, proved that this type of work has its merit. Thank you.
And now I'd like to ask the Director of DNRC, Amanda Castor, to come up and share some thoughts.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning, and thank you to Governor Gianforte for including the DNRC in your final leg of your 56-county tour. The burn scar that we see behind us today is a reminder of the importance of the collective work both before, during, and also after a wildfire, work that we strive to accomplish every day. Successful projects take time and commitment from partners, and I think you've heard that word partnership quite a bit today. That is exactly what we see with the Capital 360 initiative, where we are reducing the probability of high severity fire and associated environmental and social impacts in the Helena wildland urban interface on a mix of land ownerships located in the South Hills area. To accomplish this work, we're using a variety of funding sources, which include the Montana Forest Action Plan funding, the Good Neighbor Authority, and Community Wildlife Defense grants. The success of our firefighting resources throughout this year would not have been possible without the forest management work we see here today. Collaboration with the City of Helena, our Central Land Office, the Bureau of Land Management, and the U.S. Forest Service, Helena Lewis and Clark National Forest allowed this critical work to occur. It is with this spirit of collaboration that I'm happy to announce today the scope of work happening under the Good Neighbor Authority Agreement between the DNRC, the Natural Resource Conservation Service, and the Helena Lewis and Clark National Forest is being expanded to include a new hazardous fuels treatment. Under the expansion, $283,000 in funding will treat up to 1,270 acres of Forest Service ownership in the 10-mile South Helena and Middleman areas. Additionally, $15,000 is provided for weed treatment on 250 plus acres on the Helena Ranger District. I want to applaud the work of all of the partners involved that continue to make this work possible today. The needs and challenges we face in forest management are significant, but through work with our partners, we can continue to make strides to reduce wildfire risk and improve forest health across the state. Under your leadership, Governor, we look forward to achieving our goals with the strong partnerships that we have built. Even with the success we have highlighted in Helena and across the state, we know there is still work to be done. We will continue to utilize new authorities, funding, and all other opportunities to increase the pace and scale of forest management across Montana. I'd like to close by thanking our partners again and the brave men and women in our firefighting workforce in Montana. Without these integral relationships and dedication to protecting the lives, communities, and natural resources we all hold dear, we would not be successful in our forest and fire management efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. And I also want to thank Commissioner Logan for being here as well and supporting our discussion today. So just in conclusion, I want to give a shout out to our firefighters for their heroic work in getting this fire put out and the other almost 270 fires that were under your control this year, Matt. You did an exceptional job, and we're just thankful to you for that. With that, I'd invite the commissioners, director, and Brad come up. We'll open it up for questions. Who'd like to go first? I'll ask it a different way. Who has the first question? Yeah, Jonathan.
Governor, I wanted to see if someone could elaborate a little more on this Good Neighbor Authority expanded project here, perhaps Greg Gianforte. How did this come about, and how is this going to be implemented?
So if it'd be okay, I'd actually like to we have two folks from DNRC's GNA program here.
Okay.
Actually, Gary, do you want to come up and talk?
We'll let Gary talk. I just want to make a comment first on the Good Neighbor Authority is a provision in the Farm Bill that gives the state the ability to do active forest management on federal lands. These are partnerships between the U.S. Forest Service, or BLM, and the state of Montana. We recently signed the largest Good Neighbor Authority in the history of the state up in Lincoln County. That was a 10-year agreement for 100,000 acres. This is one way the state can be a good partner with the Forest Service and bring health back to the forest. But for particular questions about this latest announcement, if you don't mind sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you, Governor. I think that might have partially answered your question. But here in Helena, we're very active. DNRC is partnered with the Forest Service and BLM. Within eyeshot here, this hillside behind us is part of the Capital 360 project that is currently out to bid for wildfire hazardous reduction, this first ridge. The ridge on the skyline back there, if you could see just the other side, we have the Brooklyn Bridge timber sale active on Forest Service ground on the Helena National Forest. This one over here is on BLM private and Forest Service. So the GNA program has allowed, we can work across all those entities, all those administrative boundaries to get the project done and assist our partners and add capacity to the work they do. So that's really the goal for DNRC, to be able to assist and add capacity to these various agencies that all have a shared mission.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is a good example. You can see the ridge there where there's no clear cutting. The forest was thinned. The light gets through the canopy. Grass comes up. There's more forage for wildlife. You can hike through it, which is not possible when you have a tangle of trees. So, next question. Thank you for coming out today. Okay. Thank you.
You can give it a